August 16th, 2018. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 161 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
As expected, Charles Oakley won't serve any jail time for cheating at the Cosmopolitan.
Wow.
We didn't think that he would.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's the case. We had originally heard that it was blackjack that he was playing, but it turns out it was Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And unfortunately, some of the headlines said that he had cheated at poker. You know, that's the big thing. Charles Oakley cheats at poker or cheats at Texas Hold'em, which is quite...
Fake news.
It's fake news, that's right.
That's right.
That's quite a bit different than cheating at Ultimate Texas Hold'em, which is just a carnival game, right? You know, it's a table game, right?
Right.
It's a
Cheating
casino
at
game.
Texas Hold'em, if he was playing poker, would have been a lot more egregious and probably a lot more scuttlebutt about it, you know? I mean...
I don't know, Mike.
You'd be cheating not only casino, but other players.
You would not be cheating the casino. See, that's why I'm kind of disagreeing with you, right?
No, I got you.
You're only cheating the other player, so I don't think the casino would care as much.
Well, if they weren't getting as much vig, maybe you were cheating them.
Well, I don't know that the vig would... Well, anyway,
yeah.
I'll just disagree and say he probably would get in more trouble for cheating at Ultimate Texas Hold'em than
from
just a regular poker from the casino, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So, but anyway, instead of the felony that he was originally charged with, he was ultimately charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct, and he pleaded no contest and walked away with a $1,000 fine. So
that's
that was
the same penalty that he'd get if he got a little drunk and pushed a security guard, right?
Yep, maybe. I mean,
Right.
you know,
maybe not
depends.
even
That's-
that.
Maybe.
But,
yeah.
well, let's say they called a cop, a real cop,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of pushed a cop. That's probably what you'd get for that.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say.
Boy, we need a third host who is a lawyer.
That's right. I wonder if Tony's up for it. He's already on 2 podcasts.
guess,
Maybe
yeah.
he'll do another one.
What would a third one matter?
Yeah, that's right. Big deal. How much time does he really
He doesn't even have
need
to be
to
here
do
for
his
the whole
job?
thing. Right?
That's right. So apparently the Cosmo actually caught him cheating 3 different times. Twice he added to a bet that he had already won, you know, which is called pass posting.
Right.
And then another time he was taking this made more of the news. He was taking away a bet that had lost, or he was decreasing it.
Then what is their problem? First of all, I mean, wouldn't once be enough?
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy was adding to his bet, wouldn't you? Okay, you're banned.
I'd love to know more about the story. Like, was it the same dealer?
Yeah.
You know, who just isn't very observant.
Right.
And so that's why he got away with it 3 times. Or where was he sitting? Or was he causing some kind of distraction, something like that?
Or maybe he just thinks, I'm Charles Oakley. I can do whatever I want. I mean...
Maybe. And, you know, who knows if his celebrity actually helped him. Maybe it did. You know, kudos to his lawyers for making a plea to a much lesser charge, because the felony would have been like $10,000 and 6 years in jail, I think was the max. So,
anyway, oh, God. Just at least give him like a week in jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Seriously.
Just so he's exposed to the prison system.
Yeah,
so
right.
He learns his lesson.
Yeah, Charles Oakley, just 1 week in jail. You know, maybe, small cell, no toilet, something like that.
Small cell, no toilet. Where is this?
I don't know. There's got to be some place.
Like Devil's Island.
Yeah. Maybe somewhere down in like Argentina, there's a jail like that.
Well, as everybody knows, sports wagering is sweeping the country. And to try to jump on that big bandwagon, Buffalo Wild Wings is investigating the possibility of having sports wagering in their restaurants.
Right.
I've never been to a Buffalo Wild Wing. It's kind of funny because you and I, we have gone to sports bars, but for whatever reason, we've never been to one.
Well, they've been around. They're a more recent thing.
It's gotten big.
Our sports bar days are
you're right.
Past.
When we were younger, it didn't exist.
Yeah, right.
A spokesperson for the restaurant said, as the largest sports bar in America, we believe Buffalo Wild Wings is uniquely positioned to leverage sports gaming to enhance the restaurant experience for our guests. We are actively exploring opportunities, including potential partners, as we evaluate the next steps for our brand.
I got 2 things to say about this. Number one,
what do you got?
Number one, and most importantly, forget sports wagering. If they're going to let you gamble, Keno. Keno's the way to go. That's restaurant.
Yeah, that's
That's what you do in a restaurant.
Okay.
So to their PR rep, talk about some Keno.
Shoot for Keno first.
Yeah,
okay.
shoot for Keno
All right, and
first.
what's your second thing?
My second thing, aren't they the ones that do that commercial where the referee...
Yeah, they've got like special switches
Yeah,
to like,
right.
make the wind, like a big fan comes on and blows the
game
football.
so it goes into overtime
Right, exactly.
and
Yes,
people
yeah.
can get more enjoyment.
Yeah.
Should they really be the ones offering sports wagering?
That's true. I wouldn't trust them.
I don't trust them.
They've got something. They've got somebody on the inside.
Oh, it was a 4-point spread. Sorry.
Way more people put money on the underdog of this game. We got to do something about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't trust them. Yeah.
It's a very good point.
I mean, they're upfront about it. They show the guy flipping the switch.
That
in the
is true.
commercial.
That is true. They don't even try to hide it.
They don't even try to hide it. It's just right out there. I mean, really?
Yeah, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't charged them with a felony.
Right. They apply for some license, and the judge is like, I've seen the commercials. Are you out of your mind?
There's a lot of crime going on here. Denied.
Chipotle will get that. We're letting Chipotle.
They've had troubles. Doggone it, they need something.
They need some help.
All right. So you had a nice little kind of adventure courtesy of TI, right?
Yeah,
Tell us about
Treasure
that.
Island invited me and a guest, which was my wife.
Oh, good.
My other wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Out to Del Mar Racetrack.
Yeah.
So they have some yearly event where they have a day at the races, and they have reserved tables in the Thoroughbred Club.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they had 5 or 6 tables, like 4 people at a table.
And this was some TI. It's not like you've played much there. I know you know.
It was just the last time I
caught
was
their
there.
attention, but wow, that's great.
And the host said, "Oh, you're from San Diego." That's where he started. He said, "Do you ever go to Del Mar?" I said, "Well, we go once or twice a year."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we're having this thing. We'd love for you to come." So he invited me. They gave us a time, right at 1:00. The races started 2, and they had a table out in front of the gate, all set up. Said Treasure Island, and we gave us our tickets, put us in. Food, you could order off the menu. There was a menu.
Free food or
free food? Yeah, order off the menu. Free drinks.
Oh, nice! Wow,
which
at
was
the track,
nice.
that's
at
great.
At the track, yeah. The drinks came in this nice souvenir mug too.
You got to keep?
Yeah,
or?
we got to keep.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, wow, that's pretty nice.
Was it like those old souvenir glasses they used to have at Treasure Island? That was what was it shaped like a skull? Was that it?
Yeah. Remember we used to collect
That's
those.
right. I bet
They
you
had
still
those-
have
I
some
still
somewhere.
Oh, I do. I'm sure I do in my garage. I can guarantee I do. Some old mugs that
we
got to
get those
like
on
a
eBay,
skull.
my friend.
Yeah, they're probably worth something. But no, it was very, very nice. And they gave us some lottery tickets. He said, well, since we can't buy lottery tickets in Nevada, we bought some here in California.
Oh, real California lottery
California
tickets.
lottery
Okay.
tickets. Yeah, they gave us 2 scratchers and 2 like Powerballs or something.
Okay.
And on the scratchers, we got a free ticket. So that's still pending.
You haven't cashed that one in yet?
that one in yet. I
Okay.
still may win something on
Right.
that. But yeah, they were super nice and hosted the day. We only stayed for about half the races because we had some other commitments. But
And what other commitment might that be, Mike? I'm trying to remember back to this last Saturday. What did you do
I don't
after?
know.
You don't have no idea?
I have no idea where we
continue.
went. But anyway, we had a good time there. An interesting thing happened on our way out. So we're leaving like halfway through the day. It's on the second floor. We're heading down the escalator. And just before the escalator, there's this group of 3 women.
Okay.
And as I walked by, one woman looked at me and says, "Does it smell like fried chicken in here to you?" That's what she said to me.
Okay.
Another random
Sure,
talker.
just coming up like
yeah.
a-
And, it kind of did.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I
it wasn't
said,
completely out of the blue.
I
All right.
said, yeah, it kind of does. And it was because the place that was preparing the food was close there. And I didn't see fried chicken on the menu, but,
Something's cooking.
something's cooking. So then I step onto the escalator to go down,
Mm-hmm.
assuming that my wife, who was standing next to me, is right behind me.
Mm-hmm, right.
Well, unbeknownst to me, as I stepped on, Bob Baffert cuts in between me and my wife.
So Bob Baffert, who's the trainer for Justify and American Pharoah Triple
Right.
Crown winners.
Right.
So very famous in the horse racing community.
Right.
All right.
Steps in between me and Lynn.
Okay.
And I turn around, but I don't turn. I'm on the escalator going down, so I don't turn all the way around. I just kind of turn like this so she can hear me, thinking she's on the step behind me.
Right.
And I say, "Yeah, does it smell like fried chicken to you in here?" And then Bob Baffert answers, "Kinda."
That's good.
And I look and it's not Lynn, it's Bob Baffert. She was in the row behind. She's like, yeah, he cut us off right as we're getting on. He stepped right in between us. And it was him because, those sunglasses.
Yeah, he wears those glasses.
Those glasses he wear, undeniable.
Yep.
My wife's like, I just wanted to tap him on the shoulder and say, those are the stupidest glasses. Get rid of those glasses.
But she didn't?
She didn't.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and he agreed with me about the chickens.
Yeah, at that point, you've kind of got a bond going there, so
Right.
you don't want to mess that up.
So now I can say at the Del Mar racetrack in Del Mar, California, I've had my foot run over by Willie Shoemaker, Hall of Fame jockey.
Yes.
And Bob Baffert has agreed with me that this place smells like fried chicken.
And cut your wife off.
And cut my wife off.
Okay, good. Big times then. You've got a good resume when it comes to Del Mar.
Oh gosh, they should invite me every year.
Yeah, well, maybe they will. Gosh,
Yeah.
if you enjoy playing at TI,
I really like TI.
I bet you end up you're going this weekend again for another thing. Unbelievably, going back to Vegas this weekend. So I imagine you'll be at TI again at some point.
I already told them. I told
okay.
Larry is the host that invited me, and I said, "Yeah, Larry, you work next Saturday?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, I'll see you at the crabs table."
Okay.
He's like, "Oh, you're coming?" I said, "Yeah."
Good.
And he said, "Oh, you need to stay with us." And I didn't say anything, but I get so much free stuff from Caesars Entertainment.
Yeah, right. And
it's hard not. I mean, you go and they give you $1,700. It's like
right, and the condition is that you're staying at one of their properties, right?
Why would I stay anywhere else?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Unless TI can match that. But I definitely will go over there and play.
Sure,
because I really like playing there.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, we got an email from listener Mitch. And he's got some questions for us. You kind of teased this on the last episode.
Right.
But let's just get to Mitch's questions. He was listening to the July 6th episode of the Bill Simmons podcast. And Mitch said, they talked about betting the don't and other various casino situations. I was on the treadmill, dreaming of gambling to avoid the thought that I was wasting time on a treadmill. Listening to them go back and forth, I wanted to scream out the correct play and odds and such. And I realized that the Mark Duvall in me has a hard time letting incorrect gambling statements go unchecked. I heard about this podcast. I guess there was a lot of, how it is when people don't know all the details, they start, talking. Here's what
especially gambling.
Yes, especially look at what we were talking about with Charles Oakley and he cheated at poker. No, not really. Yeah. Okay, so Mitch goes on. He says, so my first question is, how much of your gambling nerdery do you reveal to people when gambling topics come up? I don't know about you, Mike, but I let it all out. It's like floodgates.
I was just going to say, Mark will let it all out. Yeah. I handle that way differently.
Yeah.
Like when a patient starts talking about something, I just kind of nod and agree, thinking to myself, well, you're way off. I just don't want to get into it because if they're not an experienced gambler, what's the use?
Yeah, that is true. Well, I guess I kind of like being the teacher.
Yeah.
I like showing off, like, well, here's what you need to. But it's funny you say that, Mike, because maybe ironically, I don't really get into conversations like that at the casino.
No.
And maybe it's because I just assume that everybody there kind of already knows.
Right.
So and a lot of times I won't correct people at the table when, two buddies are talking about craps and one says this and, it's clearly wrong. I usually don't chime in at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, all I think about when I hear two people talking like at a craps table and they're saying stuff that's either not right or kind of a little skewed maybe. Mm-hmm. I always think about you, and you will say, just let it go.
That's true.
Because whenever there's some dispute, I want to chime in and say, no, I saw that. That's the way it was. And you're always, no, just let it go.
Right?
Just let it go.
So we don't need that kind of grief here at the table. But no, if it's just somebody at work mentions something or just out and about with family and say, hey, have you ever been to this? You ever play this game? I just open up and
give them the lowdown.
It's the diarrhea of the mouth. Yeah. All right, question number 2. Which do you prefer for a once-a-month poker home game? Tournament or cash game? I think both of us easily will say cash game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Neither one of us is really a fan of tournaments.
No, the problem with tournaments, it's not a good test of a person's skill.
You don't think so? Well, it's a different skill. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah,
it's a different
skill maybe. In a single night. Mm-hmm. Now, if you had a tournament every week and some guy consistently won, you could say, oh, he's a good tournament player. Mm-hmm. But in a single night, it really comes down to a lot of, you're catching cards.
Well,
right?
you could say that about a cash game, couldn't you?
Well, you could, but usually in a cash game, you're playing different games. Now, if you just played Texas Hold'em all night, in a cash game.
Okay. So
That might be
that's adding something to the question. So let's modify the question. If it was just Texas Hold'em's the game, period.
Right.
Would you rather do a tournament or cash game?
I'd still rather play a cash game.
I would.
But I'm thinking of our home game, which is a multitude of different games.
We call a lot of different games.
Yeah,
Texas Hold'em is one of them, but
Right.
maybe once every 6 games or something.
Right. Yeah. It's not as frequent as that. And the thing about that is when you're playing a bunch of different games, how good a poker player you really comes in.
With different games, sure.
Yeah, knowing that, in this game, this might be okay and this probably isn't okay.
Well, what if the tournament were horse?
Yeah.
So you're playing, 5 different games.
Now, that's a little more appealing to
Yeah.
me. That would be more appealing to me.
Yeah. I still don't like it, though. And one of the reasons is because, well, okay, somebody gets eliminated. I mean, you could have a rebuy tournament, but if somebody gets eliminated, does he or she just sit there or do they go home or, you know what? And with a cash game, it's just...
Open up your wallet.
Open up your
more
wallet.
Money.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have an ATM right out there in the hall.
Yep. That's right. So, we probably talked about it on the show before. It's so funny because I definitely prefer cash game to tournaments, and I definitely prefer limit to no limit.
Right.
And I definitely prefer other games to Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em's not one of my favorite games. I mean, I don't
favorite
dislike
game is
it.
Omaha.
I love Omaha High-Low.
Yeah,
That's probably my
Omaha
favorite
High-Low
game.
is your favorite game.
That's probably
and there's a lot more to it. I like it because there's a lot more to it.
And it's funny because I know there are a lot of people who don't like it because, I always lose. I always have second best. But for me, it's an easier game to play because you either have it or you don't.
Right.
It's really...
It's easier for you to fold in that game.
It's easier to figure out where you are in the game.
Right.
It's like, flush came out. Somebody's got a flush. Fold.
Well, my favorite game is baseball, no look, high-low, Queenie.
Yeah, that is good. So just to explain that to everybody, 3s and 9s are wild. It's no peaky, right? If the Queen of Spades comes up, it kills the game and you re-ante.
That's it.
Okay, good. I'll tell you, we played a game last night. You weren't at the home game, but we played a game like that. It was very similar to that. I'll explain it to you. It's not worth talking about on the show anymore. But
That's a good game. There's so many variants. Nobody knows what's going on.
Stupid. I won half the pot. Why?
It's stupid, but it's fun.
It's fun, exactly. All right, question number 3. Other than yelling muckleshoot, what is something you only do in a casino that you don't do elsewhere? I don't smoke, but inevitably by the end of the night, I bum one and only one cigarette at the craps table. What do you say, Mike?
Well, I'd say for you, it's drink.
Absolutely. I really do not drink outside of a casino.
No, not even like at a Sunday we're watching football. You usually don't drink. I mean, you'll have a soda or something, but you usually don't drink alcohol. But at the casino, that's all you do drink.
Pretty much the only place I drink alcohol is a casino. Yeah, that's true.
Now me, I don't know. I guess I get a little more outgoing. I'm pretty shy and demure in my real life, and then really outgoing in a casino.
People may be laughing, but that is true to a certain extent. It really is. Yeah, I mean, the casino's your element, so you're very.
I'm very comfortable
boisterous.
in the casino.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, because I can't think of anything else that you do only at the casino.
No.
Yeah.
Play my free play.
Break into tears.
Yeah, I do break into tears a lot. That doesn't happen in my real life.
I've never seen that
much.
outside. Yeah. All right. Question 4. Has there ever been a casino promotion so good that it stretched your comfort zone, either distance traveled or amount necessary to play?
Answer is no for you, yes for me.
Exactly. So I'm thinking of a specific story, but let's see if yours is the same for you.
Oh, I don't have a specific story, but I know many times where I've played more than I should because I wanted to get a certain gift giveaway.
Yep. Now I know specifically. This was a few years back, and I want to say it was a Mac, maybe an iMac.
Oh,
and you kept playing, and I remember the whole time you kept asking the pit, okay, am I there? Have I qualified for the Apple yet? Have I qualified? No, not yet. You need this more. So you kept going and kept going and kept going.
Right.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
it's like you've played so much to this point, you've got to get that iMac.
I know. I remember that too. Well, this last weekend I got an iPad.
Yeah, but you weren't playing longer just to get it. You were just going to get whatever they gave you, and you happened to qualify for an iPad.
I qualified for the best thing, But I wanted to get that. I mean, I was willing to play.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that we hadn't been there that long. I was surprised you got it, Mike.
I don't know. I thinking about that afterwards. I'm like, there must have been a mistake because we were there a shorter amount of time. Well, we were there a certain amount of time, but the time to earn points for us was shorter.
Very short compared to how much we played overall. Yeah,
we stayed after the earning period time. Yeah. But that earning period time wasn't that long, and I still qualified. I don't know how that happened because even at my play, I even said when we went into you, that's going to be rough to get there.
Yeah, when we were figuring, it's like, oh my gosh, you'd need like 6 or 7 hours straight to get that, and it was like 3 hours.
It was like 3 hours. So maybe they didn't do the.
No, it's voodoo.
Yeah,
it's
they didn't
voodoo.
quite do things normally, or they just like, oh, he's here all the time. We're getting him an iPad no
Just
matter
get
what.
He's get it too. All right, question 5. If your Harrah's gave you one of their craps tables, which one of you would be the first to secretly try to work on your dice control game in your free time?
That's easy. It'd be me. Based on personality, it'd be me.
You think it'd be you?
Yeah, because I'd be thinking, well, maybe there's something to this. I mean, I honestly don't believe there is.
No, nor do I, yeah.
But I might try for a few hours just to see and then realize, no, this doesn't work. Yeah. You probably wouldn't even waste the time.
Maybe not, but the question was who would be first? You would be first to actually try it. Yeah. And maybe along the way, all right, I'll try, I'll spend an hour on it, which even people who believe in it would say, well, an hour is nothing, right?
Right.
So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's why I really wouldn't do it. Because if it's the Harrah's by us that's giving us a free table, well, they use cards here.
Right.
So, I've got it down. I can roll a hard 6 every time. Right? Who cares?
Yeah. Can you manipulate the cards? I'll tell you,
mind control.
There was a guy out there a couple weeks ago. I told you this story. You weren't there. But I was playing. A guy was having a really good roll. Mm-hmm. A really good roll. As a matter of fact, he made 5 to the fire. And he came out on the 6, but didn't make it. Mm-hmm. And a guy came up halfway through his roll, stood next to him, realized he was having a good roll. And he kept telling him, oh, you need an 8? Set the dice like this. And he was telling him how to spin. And the guy's listening to him, and he's turning the dice and spinning them. And he's like, yeah, if you set them like that and you roll it like this, 8 will come up. Mm-hmm. Well, so what?
Did anybody say to him?
No, I was standing
did the guy even know that it was a card-based?
Yeah, he knew
did.
it was a card. He could see the cards.
There you go. Yeah.
He was just trying to, it was a scam thing.
To get a tip.
To get a tip. He was just hoping the guy would continue rolling and then say, oh, thanks for the help, and, give him a tip. And I'm sitting there thinking, surely the shooter, I didn't want to disrupt anything, so I'm not starting any problems. I think surely the shooter knows that if 8 comes up on the dice, it doesn't mean anything. It's the cards. It was driving me crazy, though. I wanted to say, just get away. And I've never seen that guy there before.
Really? Okay.
The shooter I've seen before.
Right, but just not the guy who came up.
Yeah. So some con artist.
All right, last question. At the end of this year, who will have made more money at the craps table? Mark or the dealers from Dr. Mike's Tips?
Well, you better answer that.
Okay, so obviously the dealers are going to make more. And it's funny because Mitch actually contacted us since the last episode to say, well, yeah, I know, they're not losing. Yeah. That's the whole point, right? The dealers aren't losing anything.
They never lose.
When you make a tip for them, if the bet doesn't win, well, it's not like they lost anything. Right. So they definitely are going to make money over the whole year. But
if you're talking about dollar amount.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dollar amount of money won.
Okay.
Not wagered, but money won.
Won.
Who is it? You or the dealers?
It might be me. And here's why I'll say this. It's because for the most part, Mike, when you tip the dealers, you're tipping them on high house edge bets.
Right.
Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Hot bets, hard ways. You don't generally make pass line bets. Sometimes you do, but normally it's those high house edge bets.
Mostly it's high house edge bets.
So, if you're talking about winning, well, it's a negative EV game. They will have lost a lot more if you count those bets as losses.
Right.
Okay, than I.
Yeah. Well, if you just count money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Not money you lost, just money that is in your pocket.
Yeah.
When you leave, it's got to be the dealers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm playing this negative EV game.
Right.
And I'm down for the year.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I'm down for the year.
They're not down.
They're not down.
Because they didn't wager anything to begin with.
But if you counted their losses, I'd have them beat.
You probably would have them beat. But they still get a significant amount of money.
Mike tips quite a bit. And because it's these high house edge bets, when they do hit, they're big payouts.
Right.
So sometimes the dealers just on a single roll, they're dropping $50, $100.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
900.
If a hard way's come up several times, they're dropping a ton. So,
a couple weeks ago, $450 twice, they dropped to $50 hard sixes.
Right. Yeah. So in a single, high variance in a single night, they may drop virtually nothing.
Right.
And another
Or-
night, thousands.
Yeah, they
So,
get. I think the most is like close to 4,000
yeah.
in a night. So, and in other nights, like you said, it's virtually nothing. It's $100 or something.
I know you started to kind of keep track. We really should
Yeah.
keep track more because
Yeah.
it would be interesting to
It
see
would
how
be
much
fun
they drop.
to see
Yeah.
at the end of the year. Like, can I have my money back?
That's right. Well, thanks for those questions, Mitch. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, it's time to go to our voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512 wagers.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Alton.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Alton calling from North Carolina. Wanted to give a belated trip report on a cruise that my wife and I took the week of July 4th on the Queen Mary 2 out of New York. We had a great time, and I wanted to focus on the ship's casino. Very small casino, only had one pit of table games that included 2 tables of roulette, a mini Bach table, a 3-card poker table, and 2 blackjack tables. The roulette, even though it was an English vessel, the roulette was 00, and every time I saw it, the minimum was $10. The blackjack tables were pretty good conditions, especially for a cruise ship, based on what I've been told about cruise ship blackjack. Blackjack paid 3-2. It was an 8-deck shoe, hand shuffled. They hit soft 17 and did not offer surrender. One table was a $10 minimum with a maximum of only $300, and the other table was a $100 minimum with a max bet of $2,000. The tables had 9 spots, which is the most spots I've ever seen on a blackjack table, and not surprisingly, the $10 table was quite crowded. There was at least one occasion where the $10 table was full, and a passenger wanted to play, but didn't want to play $100 a hand, so the pit boss temporarily lowered the minimum on the $100 table down to $25. There were also a few dozen slot machines and some truly terrible video poker. I believe the Jacks or Better was a 6-5 pay table, so pretty awful. When it comes to buying into the table, we had received some conflicting information. My wife and I had not been on cruise ships before, and so we had been told that it was cashless and you just buy chips with your room card, which was connected to a credit card. But we'd also heard that, maybe you could buy in just like a regular table with cash. And so we both brought a bankroll to play with, and we were glad we did because you could just buy in with cash just like a regular casino. So overall, it was a fun trip. I actually lost quite a bit at first, but then clawed my way back playing blackjack pretty much the whole time. Got ahead finally, and then used some of my winnings to buy us a nice bottle of wine at the final dinner. Unfortunately, there was no craps at this casino, but we did have a great time playing blackjack. Well, guys, thanks for what you do, and keep up the good work.
Good. All right. Well, thanks. I don't think we've gotten a trip report from the Queen Mary 2 before.
No, I was wondering because he didn't talk about craps.
I know. And then
I was thinking at the end, I was like, he hasn't mentioned craps, so I guess there wasn't one,
Yeah,
and I guess there wasn't. Why 2 roulettes?
Well, I believe Queen Mary 2 is transatlantic, and so there are probably a lot of European passengers on there too, and they really like roulette. So I'm assuming that's why.
Yeah, because you think that'd take up a lot of room, and you think the casino would be better off to have 1 roulette and a couple more blackjack tables.
Yeah, it depends on the clientele, but that's my guess anyway.
And as far as, higher house edge with the roulette, but just seems like people would like blackjack more.
Yeah,
or put more slots in,
It depends. I really think it probably depends on the clientele. How many Americans versus Europeans versus whoever else.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from Matt.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Matt in Arizona. Just got back about a week ago from Vegas, and I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of gambling there. Craps, Downtown Grand, Bally's, both were, they're okay. Nothing, kind of up and down. What was really fun is actually the first time me and my buddies went to Ellis Island. We got breakfast at 10 a.m., waited for the craps table to open at noon, and we didn't leave till 6 o'clock only because we had to go run to see a show. We were there for from 10 to 6 gambling and drinking $2 beers, having a great time. Great crew. definitely a grind joint. Not the nicest place in the world, but we had a lot of fun. It was a good vibe, friendly dealers, friendly people, and great beer, so that was fun. Last episode, too, there was, or I guess 2 episodes ago, a guy called in saying, hey, I left after tripling my buy-in in poker and wondering what you guys would have done. As somebody who almost exclusively plays poker now, when I do go to Vegas or go to gamble, unless I'm playing small buy-in craps and blackjack with my friends, that's absolutely right. Unless you're going to go and pay for, unless you're paying upwards of $100 a month for a study tool or anything like that, like using whether it's Red Chip Poker or the Upswing Lab, honestly, your skill edge at being a newer player is probably not as great as you think it might have been. If your reads were great, awesome, but good to take the money and run, especially, in the long run. We've all been there. We've been hitting cards and catching well, running good, and it can change pretty quick. That's my 2 cents. I think good time to get up and leave. Wish I'd done that more in my career here. But anyway, heading back out to Vegas at the end of this month for my bachelor party. We'll definitely give you guys a rundown of how that goes. Hope you guys are both doing well. Talk to you soon.
As recreational gamblers, we should never feel bad about leaving with a win.
Right.
Thinking, I could have won more, especially if you're thinking any win, even if you were up more and then you lost some.
Right.
Never feel bad. It's like, okay,
and
I'm leaving with a win.
that I probably should have left sooner a lot of times is probably the most common sentence spoke by every gambler. Right? Why didn't I just leave earlier?
Oh God, just leave.
Yeah. Remember our friend Stan who used to say, just leave when you're up.
He says, whenever you gamble, at some point you're up. So just leave.
Just leave when you're up. And I always was like, Stan, well, what about if you win the first bet of blackjack? You're up. Should I just leave? I just got here. Should I just leave?
And so according to Stan, there's never a time where you start losing immediately and you just lose, you're never ahead.
Yeah, Stan,
at some point you're ahead. Just
Stan
leave.
obviously hasn't been around me a lot.
I'll tell you, Mike, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I'm thinking back, I don't think I've ever been to Ellis Island.
No, I was thinking that
been?
too. No, I've never been. I know it, and I heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been.
No, so we're probably going to catch a lot of grief for that, but maybe we should make a point that, we really should go.
Next time we're there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he brought up a good point. Sometimes, if you're having fun at a place, even if it's the biggest, dump around, I mean, that's great. I'm at a craps table, and if the dealers are good and I'm having fun, and especially if we're winning, I don't care what the casino looks like. I mean, it could be terrible, or it could be the Bellagio.
I was going to say that's definitely a possibility, right? How many times have we been in this glamorous location,
right?
And we're just miserable.
Yeah, we're just terrible because it's like nothing's going our way, and the dealer's kind of surly, and so play where you have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Good advice. All right, let's hear from Uncle G.
Hello, Mark, and the other fellow that you do the show with, is it Mike or Dr. Mike or something? Anyway, this is Uncle G calling in from the West Coast. I wanted to give you folks an update on the opening of the MGM Casino here in Springfield, Massachusetts. The casino is due to open on August 24th, and they have finally put out requests for players from other casinos to come in ahead of time. They set up a couple time blocks on Saturdays to get our MGM cards, and they said they'll match our statuses, as you suggested they might. I'm going to choose to go in later, not when they first open. I'm going to go in later for other reasons. One of the things I wanted to let you folks know is myself and also Johnny Yo and Professor T received massive increases in our free play from Foxwoods in the month of September. Just speaking for myself, I was receiving $40 and $60 every week in free play. And in September, that jumped to $120/$150 each week in free play. So I learned about it just a few days ago, and the other two guys in my gambling club also learned about it from the rewards booth, and we're just shocked. They all jumped up as much as I did. And we think that has to have something to do with Foxwoods recognizing that we're within 10 miles of the new MGM Casino, where Foxwoods is 70 miles from my home. That's pretty interesting. Not sure if you've ever heard of that before. And the question I have for you folks today is, I think I'm going to reach diamond status at Foxwoods this year, and I'm wondering, how do I also take that on the road? For example, I'm interested in going on a road trip on my motorcycle throughout the Midwest and also heading farther into the plains. And I'm wondering, do I call a casino ahead of time and say, hey, I'm a Diamond member and, can I get a free room or what would you offer me if I stayed at your place? So I'm just looking to learn how that works. Maybe I'm a little too excited to be a new Diamond member. I know you folks are 7 stars. I'm not in the same league as you. But how is it? And then, Coach Foss talks about going to Rising Star in Indiana or Belterra or Rivers Casino near Pittsburgh. Do I call those folks ahead of time and say, hey, I'd like to come in? What would you offer me? Is that the way it works? And also, what would I call? Do you call guest relations or player development? I'm not sure how to do that. So I really appreciate your guidance. Perhaps Dr. Mike will have another massive winning trip report for us on this podcast. And congratulations, son. There's been some crazy wins for you folks, and that's great to hear. Thank you for everything you do. Uncle G's out. Over.
Yeah, so Diamond is the highest level, tier level at Foxwoods.
Right.
So, yes, if you are going to be Diamond, once you're Diamond, I would say call in advance. Don't show up, day of to a casino and flash your Diamond card and expect to get any kind of comps.
Right.
But call ahead of time, a couple weeks if you know you're going to be there. Ask to talk to a host.
Ask to talk to a casino host.
Mm-hmm. And
that's the person
he or she may ask for credentials, like, well, okay, what's your Diamond card number? They may ask for a lot of information. That's basically what you and I did when we went to Foxwoods.
Right.
Eric Rosenthal actually put us in touch with a host, and I talked to him and said, okay, we're 7 stars through Caesars Entertainment. Here are our numbers. And this was, a couple months in advance of going there. And he was able to research us and find out what kind of players we were and then comp our rooms ahead of time. So
comped our rooms and set us up real nice.
Yeah, definitely call ahead, but give plenty of time because now I don't know, a single property Foxwoods, they have their own players club. I don't know if that carries as much clout as some of these connected ones, M Life and even the Boyd casinos. I don't know. Yeah. But you call ahead of time.
You definitely want to talk to a casino host. Don't talk to just anybody.
I agree because if it's just guest relations or whatever, a host,
they'll give you information but not really do much for you. The host is more willing to do stuff because they get a little kickback from the casino usually.
Depending on the casino,
if they bring in if they bring in somebody who will play some money, and even somebody who's not going to gamble a ton, but gamble a little is probably a feather in their cap, right?
Yeah, so. Definitely. And then as far as getting all this extra free play from Foxwoods suddenly, that's got to be related to MGM Springfield opening, sure.
You would think. Mine went up. I get stuff from Foxwoods.
Really?
Yeah, and I noticed I was getting more. I've got, in the last week, probably 3 or 4 flyers.
Well, you'd think it's got to take away players, right? Where you've got, there's a place just, right around the corner. Why drive an hour when I've got a place right here?
Well, it's like when a new restaurant opens, everyone wants to go there. Nobody knows what it's like yet, but you all want to go there.
Sure.
And if you like it, you continue to go there. Now, you may drift back to your old stomping grounds, but you always want to try out the new place. Sure. And that's what they're afraid of, right? Yeah. They're afraid of a couple of months of down revenues.
Yeah, so that's probably it. All right, next call.
Mark, Dr. Mike, here's a quick little trip report. Drove from Southern California to Vegas to celebrate my dad's 60th birthday. By the way, this is Eli. I know I've emailed you a couple times, Mark, so just wanted to give a quick trip report. Nice little trip, Wednesday through Sunday. I'm about to leave Madara now. Did a lot of gambling in Aria. Very nice casino. First time gambling there. Dealers are kind of mean there, as what I'm getting. Pricey. Spent a lot of time at Planet Hollywood, Harrah's, as well as Caesars, and definitely checked out Lake O'Shea's. Like gambling there, like playing craps a lot. Had a really good monster roll. Started with $300, went to about $1,200. That was my first night, and the craps table went cold from there. But, someone hit their first small. I had my first small all tall, make them all. So she hit the small on a roll. Was really nice. Of course, one time they had another roller come out, and they hit that, and I wasn't on it. They had to make them all. I think they rolled a 7 on the first come out, so I didn't want it back up. The other weird thing I saw, and maybe you guys can comment on, this is just Aria, but the minimum you can put on all of them is $5 for a minimum. I thought that was a little expensive, but yeah, I just want to give a quick little trip report. Nothing too crazy. Very hot out here in Vegas these last couple of days, but yeah, Aria is a big hit. A lot more people in it than I've ever seen really before, and then the strip was just jammed even with this weather. So yeah, have a good one, Mike, Dr. Mark, Dr. Mike. Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. That definitely is a trend with casinos now, applying a minimum to the all small tall.
Yeah.
And
I think it's some a little bit to do with maybe, too many $1 out there, and
It's
there's
not
not a
worth
lot
it
of
to 'em.
space. Yeah. And it gets crowded and everyone's got $1 and some have 2 and 3. And if the dice hit that, it's crazy messy.
I want to say the casino knows what it's doing. Is it making more money by having these minimums higher? I don't know. But that's definitely a trend that we've seen lately.
You do see that a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he said he didn't replace his all tall, all small after 7 came up on the first roll.
Yep.
How about a $3 7?
Just on the come out roll?
On the come out
to cover
roll.
them.
You got 5, 5, 5, 15 at there. You make a $3 7, right?
That covers it. That's your hedge.
That's your hedge.
That's
you
your
cover
hedge.
it. It's $3. I don't know.
I agree. So, I agree that that's what Dr. Mike would do. If you're asking me, you wouldn't make the all small tall. You wouldn't make the any 7. You wouldn't make any of those bets.
No.
But I agree.
You'd have minor wins. You'd get minor jackpots where when I hit them all, I have a major win.
I agree, though, that is something that Dr. Mike would do.
Yeah.
It's funny he's talking about those dealers at Aria. Yeah, I got that feeling too. When we played at Aria, they were kind of mean.
We didn't like Aria.
No. And it was because the crew. We had a bad experience at the buffet too.
We had a real bad buffet, and then the crews were not good.
They were kind of mean.
What is it about places?
I don't know.
I mean,
you'd think morale. You'd think it'd go all the way up to the top, right?
Right.
That would be it. Maybe that they're not treated very well as employees.
So you think the guy at the top is like, oh, this job sucks. Go ahead, be mean to everybody. I don't care.
Well, it's owned by MGM. That is kind of the way that they treat people now.
Yeah,
so maybe
right.
that is the case.
Maybe
It's trickled down. Yeah,
it's just trickled down. Maybe it's like Dick's Last Resort downtown in San Diego,
where they
their thing is to be mean. It's kind of in a joking way, but they try and be mean to you, and people go there to be. Maybe they're trying to.
Maybe that's it. Aria.
Customer.
Maybe they'll just change their name to Dick's.
Yeah, Dick's.
You've been to Dick's? It's the old. They used to call it City Center. There, Aria. It's called Dick's.
It used to be Aria. Now it's Dick's.
Yeah. We'll have to catch up with Eli. I think Eli goes to Pachanga quite a bit.
Okay,
so
right. I think
next time we're up that way, maybe we'll try to.
Next
get in
time we're
touch
up
with him.
Pachanga.
I know it's been a while. We don't have a lot of reason to go up that way.
Incentive to go
we'll
up there.
end up there eventually. We get up there.
Yeah,
on trips.
there is one incentive. And you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, very good. All right, now let's move on to Will.
Hey, Mark and Dr. What's his name again? Dr. Muckleshoot?
What is this, a recurring theme?
Yeah, see, that's what happens.
This is a recurring theme now.
It's everybody's trying to get, because they know that you're like the superstar on the show. They're trying to send me a little love.
Yeah, okay, well, no trophy for them.
All right, moving on.
Michael-shoot? Well, whatever. The other guy. The guy's not important. No, I'm just joking. I did that for Mark. Hey, guys, this is Will from North Carolina calling again. I'm just finishing up a Vegas trip. I wanted to tell you guys a few things about it. So first off, you guys' podcast has motivated me to start playing a few carnival games, which I'd never played before. I tried 3-card poker. I tried face-up pie guy poker, since you guys have talked about it so much. I enjoyed both those a lot. And another game I really enjoyed a lot was high-card flush. And I don't remember if you guys have talked about it before on the podcast. If you guys have, I'm sure Mark knows the exact episode and he can reference it like he always does. But that was actually my favorite of the 3 games. And so I thought that was kind of fun to start playing those games for the first time. But I also had a pretty funny crap story that I want to tell you guys about. I was playing in more of like a locals casino, and I go up to the table, and apparently it's not going well. Everybody's rolling pretty badly. And so this guy next to me, he just says to me, "Are you a good shooter?" And I give the same answer I always say when people ask that. I say, you know what, I'm inconsistent. I roll well, sometimes badly, sometimes you never know what you're going to get at me. But he's really, really frustrated with that. He's like, oh, okay, fine. And so right as the dealer's about to pass me the dice and it's my turn to shoot, and he's right behind me, he goes to the dealers, "Oh, this guy's passing the dice." And I'm so taken aback by it, I don't even know what to do at first. I'm like, wait, no, I'm shooting. But no, the guy just insisted. He says again to the dealers, "No, this guy is passing the dice." And the dealers are getting a little irritated, but I said, I don't know what he's talking about. I want to shoot. But he's so angry, he's refused to place a bet. So I start rolling, and I'm actually rolling pretty well. I hit a bunch of numbers. I actually hit 2 points. And apparently I won the guy over, because when I come out on my 3rd point, he does place a pass line bet. Once I establish my point, he loads up on his odds. He places all the numbers for a pretty big amount. And immediately I 7
down. I knew that was coming.
He banged his fist on the table. He just scooped up his chip and stormed away.
Oh,
now,
that's
there aren't
great.
many times where I'm happy to 7 out, but that was probably the best 7 out that I've ever rolled that I can remember, because it felt so good just to get rid of that guy. And I've never seen anything like that. And I just wanted to tell you guys that funny little story.
All right, guys. I always appreciate it. Bye.
Well, that's great. I knew that was coming too.
The next time we're at the casino and the dice go to you, he's passing. He's passing. Send him to me. Can you imagine a complete stranger saying that he's passing the dice?
I would have. Every time I made a number, I would have rolled. It's 5. I would have, before I picked the dice up again to shoot, I would have said it was a 5. It's a 5, and then roll the dice. It's a point. I knew he was going to wait until the roll was like winding down. Then he makes his bets and gets hammered.
And Will didn't say, no, I'm not a very good shooter. He said, just like everybody on the planet, right. Well, sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm bad. And the guy just wasn't having it.
Yeah, what would the guy have done if he said, oh, I'm a great shooter? I'm guaranteed like 4 points, and then you immediately 7 out.
That would have been just as good.
Yeah.
This way, at least Will made a little money for himself
right.
before the guy went all out there.
Oh, God. What an idiot.
It's so great. Oh, and for those interested, we talk about High Card Flush in episode 35. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. I got a trip report from AC. I just came from Bally's. I got 3 out of 5 tables have the fire bet yet. It was good times. I made, 3 out of 6 points, which I was a hero to 10. Hero to 10. It was great. Rode the jitney. I don't know if you guys have ever ridden the jitney, but, you haven't lived. You rode down the jitney on MLK Boulevard. Good times, good times. Broken glass, kicking things out the window. It was great. Have a good one. Okay, bye.
Great call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
You were nodding. You've ridden the jitney in Atlantic City?
No, but I know what it is.
Oh, well, sure,
I don't know if you know what it is.
Yeah,
I know what it is. No, we didn't do that.
We didn't. We spent our time at the casino.
Yeah, we broke our glasses in the casino.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Next up is Sean.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Sean from New Jersey, and I have an interesting gambling story along the lines of the scam that you had talked about a few episodes back, where someone in the casino will essentially direct you to a hot machine, stating that they have some sort of advanced knowledge. So my brother-in-law's playing video poker at the Oceans Casino in Atlantic City, and he's playing single line, dollar, bet, triple, double bonus with super times pay. So a homeless guy sits next to him and gives him some sort of statement along the lines of, boy, everybody I've been sitting by today has been hitting jackpots left and right. So my brother-in-law hits the deal button, gets dealt 3 threes and a 5-time multiplier. He stops to have a conversation with the guy, delays his hitting the draw button, finally hits the draw button and gets dealt a kicker and another 3. Not only that, but the multiplier goes off again and he gets hit another 5 times on top of that. Total payout of $20,000. So he ends up giving the guy next to him $1,000 payout out of that. His rationale was along the lines of, if I had hit the draw button at that given time, that essentially he wouldn't get that payout. So with that being the case, that was his thoughts around that. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Thanks for the time.
All right, Mike, what do you think? $1,000 tip on a hit like that?
No way. Not just, if it's your buddy.
Yeah.
Right? If it's your buddy saying, do it now or something, or your relative, maybe I give him some money. Definitely I'd give him some money.
Yeah.
But no, one of those hanger-oners, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I won't judge your brother-in-law because, hey, it's a nice thing to do. And,
right, and if he wants to do it, that's fine. If you're asking me if I'd do it, I'm pretty generous, but not that much. Not for that kind of thing. I'll tell you what, when one of those guys comes up and sits next to me, if I'm at a slot machine or even if I'm at the craps table like that one kid did, from now on, my standard line is I'm just going to look at him and say, look, I was just playing baseball no peak high-low queenie over there on that machine over there, and that damn queen of spades kept coming up, and I had to keep redealing, and it's driving me crazy. And they'll just look at me like,
they won't understand what? They'll think, this is a crazy guy.
Yeah, this is a crazy guy.
I got to move on.
I'm moving on.
Right. Well, I will say this, Sean. So I will say that your brother-in-law, his rationale was, I was talking to the guy, so I delayed the amount of time before I pressed the button.
Right.
When it comes to video poker, that doesn't matter.
It's predetermined.
Because most video poker machines, if 5 cards show up on the screen, but internally, the machine has already dealt out 10 cards.
Right.
It's dealt out the 5 that you see, and then it's dealt out 5 that are replacement cards for each location. So no matter when he chooses to discard whichever, it's not constantly shuffling in the background.
Right.
Those
It's not
cards have
waiting
already
for
been
you
dealt
to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's already decided.
Right. So it didn't matter that he talked to the guy for a little bit extra time. So if you want to,
bring that up,
tell your brother-in-law about that. That's up to you. I don't know if you want to tell him or not. But
depends on how close you are to your brother-in-law.
That's right. All right. Last call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Michael from Atlanta, calling you from McCarran Airport. I just want to give you a trip report from my trip this week. Most memorable crap session was at the Cromwell. I held the dice for about 40 minutes, and I did like you guys do sometimes and told the dealers not to drop any of their topes until the very end. I pretty much had a $1 pass line with $5 odds to the dealers the entire time. I rolled the tall, was one away from the small, and rolled many points. Ended up, when I cashed out a little over $1,000, the dealers had stacked up to the top of the wood wall with $1 and $5 chips for about $150, which was half of my buy-in, which I thought was pretty cool. Secondly, not a win for me, but I was at Aria, and I was playing video poker at one of the bars, and a couple next to me, I saw that they had just had 4 to the Royal, and they were freaking out about drawing the last card, and they closed their eyes, and the wife grabbed the husband's hand and pushed the button, and they weren't even watching, and I saw the Royal hit first, and I was already screaming before they knew they had won it. It was so funny. We got a huge kick out of it and celebrated there for a second. But it was a good trip. Wanted to let you guys know. Hope you have a good week, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Michael, you should have asked the couple for $1,000.
Yeah.
Hey, how about $1,000 this way?
I'm the one who witnessed it.
I actually saw it. If I hadn't been watching, you wouldn't have hit it.
You wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, you didn't get it. I willed it to come.
That's right. I think you missed an opportunity there, Michael. That's all we're saying.
I don't know about that hand-holding thing. I've tried that with you. It doesn't go anywhere.
It seems to have the opposite effect for you and me. I don't know.
You know what's funny is last Sunday we go out to Harris to get our free play.
Yeah.
And we're eating at the buffet, my wife and I and my daughter.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking, okay, thank you.
And I told my wife, I said, I'll sit. She usually sits with the girls in the buffet while I go play the free play. Mm-hmm. And I said, you go play. She knows how to play video poker.
Sure.
She makes all the right moves. So she went and played our $500 free play. And I stayed with the girls. And she said as she's leaving, I'm probably going to get a Royal since you're not there. And I thought for sure she was. And I mean, she wasn't gone very long. And I hear my text message ding. And I'm thinking, oh, crap. And I'm kind of like, really? She got a Royal?
Yeah.
Well, she got 4 aces is what she got. But it was like her third push.
Oh, you teased everybody, Mike. Now everybody's thinking, oh, Mike's wife got a Royal.
No, it still wasn't. I guarantee she'll get one before me.
It was bonus, so the 4 aces at least paid better than Jacks are better.
Yeah, I paid $400 on a $5 bet.
Yeah, good. All right, well, some things coming up. Don't forget, 360 Vegas Vacation 7 is over Labor Day. We unfortunately cannot make that, but Mark and Karen, they just moved to Las Vegas. So, I mean, they're there. They're going to plan out everything. Everything's going to be all set.
Yeah, can you imagine if you live there?
Oh, yeah,
you
you actually talk to people face to face.
Right, you can do it weeks in advance instead of like calling and hoping that they got it right.
Yeah, you can keep checking up on them. Also, not VIMF in October, and doggone it, Eric Rosenthal and his buddies and everybody, they're planning this trip to Biloxi at the end of November.
Right.
And you and I were talking about Biloxi being our next trip. And
I'm tempted to go, but the thing is, I go to the Great Gift Wrap-Up,
it's right.
which is the first week of December.
Yeah. Now, there is a different one before that.
In November. It's like 2 weeks before that. It'd be the week before that.
Well, not the week. It's like a month before. But
I think it's like the...
Okay, well... In any case, you're right. The second one, the last chance one, is that same weekend.
Right.
And I don't know. It's a short notice. We'll have to see. We can't commit to it at this point. We'd love to go, though.
Well, I mean, I might be able to swing it. You'd be the problem.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah.
I'd be the problem. And then, oh my gosh, did you hear what happened to Vegas Bun Boy?
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
Wasn't that awful?
Yeah.
Adam... Travel Vegas. I don't know what he goes by these days.
He's always changing.
It's terrible. But at the very end of Vegas Bun Boys episode, Adam comes bursting in and kidnapped him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
the most important part, he broke his Dr. Mike statue.
Oh my God. I don't even have a Dr. Mike statue.
Well, I've got another one in the mail. So
you're sending it
Chris.
To him?
Don't worry, Chris. I hope I got the right postage.
Man, that's right. Overseas
London's
like
a long
that.
ways away.
Yeah, that is tough. Oh boy. Well, I hope he's even there to receive it.
Yeah,
Who knows what Adam's doing?
Probably
with
in the hospital.
Yikes. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, Tim from Tennessee. He said a karma donation for an upcoming trip to St. Louis to go to the PGA Championship. Oh, my gosh. He must have seen... Wow.
Yeah, that was a great tournament.
That must have been something.
I was rooting so hard for Tiger.
Sure.
People can say what they want about his personal life and everything. The guy, he was a phenom from day one, and he's still a phenom as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he shoots his best Sunday.
Yeah.
That's...
I mean, oh my God, it was so exciting at the end.
Yeah. Anyway, Tim goes on to say, going to follow Tiger and hit the local casinos. Hope this brings luck to both. Keep up the good work. Well, it seems like it worked.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, when last time, 2 weeks ago when I was at Caesar's Palace, two of the dealers and one of the pit bosses were having kind of a friendly discussion / argument about whether Tiger was really back and is really as good as he was. And me and one of the dealers said, yeah, I think he is.
I don't follow golf that much, but I have to agree because he got into a little trouble.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And he recovered from it.
Just like Tiger
he
always
would hit
did.
it into the rough.
He had one shot where he was way off in the rough.
I know, I saw it.
He just muscled that baby out of there.
That was great, yeah. Also, a donation for Amber. She said, heading out to Spirit Mountain this weekend, sending some karma your way for all the hard ways. Fingers crossed for that. And Amber actually sent us an email. It worked because she had a winning session up there at Spirit Mountain.
Very good.
Yeah. Also, a karma donation from Greg. He said, longtime listener, finally thought I would send some love for all the advice and great content. Karma donation for Greg and Janine trip to Vegas August 16th through August 19th for our joint birthday getaway. Muckleshoot. Well, good luck. That's coming up this weekend.
This weekend. Yeah. So I'll be at Harrah's.
Oh my gosh.
Friday night.
That's right.
8:17. I'll be getting into Harrah's about 9:30 that night. But we'll play a little bit. But I will be most of the day on the 18th, which they'll still be there.
Yeah.
At Harrah's or thereabouts.
Okay. So find Dr. Mike.
I hope to find them.
Yeah. And finally from Thomas, I meant to send you this before I went to Atlantic City, but missed out. I'll blame that for why I lost. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program that searches through all the raw American TV data. Just go to youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review on us. We love getting your feedback. Dr. Mike?
Well, I'm off to Vegas again, as you know. Another giveaway thing that I just can't.
Can't pass up.
I can't pass it up, Mark. I don't know what to say.
Just you and your wife on this
just
trip.
Just me and my wife
so
on this trip.
She'll be able to play with you now, and you'll have a companion at least.
Right?
At the table.
I have somebody to stand with me and listen to me whine. Hopefully there won't be much whining. Hopefully it'll be all winning.
I know what that's like.
But we're there Friday night, and we're coming home very early Sunday morning.
Okay,
so
are you driving or flying?
We're flying.
Okay, all right.
We're flying this trip.
Okay.
So and then you want me to make any football bets for you while I'm there?
No, I don't want you to make any football bets for me. No.
I didn't want to bring this up, but I feel compelled to say that, last year in your football pool, there was one person who had the most wins the whole season, had the best winning percentage of games, won the most money.
Who was it, Dr. Mike? Who was it?
I think you know who he is.
All right, I don't.
And then you're stopping your football pool.
That's not the reason.
I finally hit my stride.
All right, maybe I'll make some hardway bets for you next time we're up there.
There you go. Thanks for all those hardway bets, by the way.
All right, thanks for listening.
Good night.
Mark, that was wonderful. I had no idea you were so talented. The audience is going to love you.